Every time I update content, I change the publish date to current. Does Google favor that?
So, um, what you have to understand is that Google crawlers are taking into account the day that they crawl your information or your content, right? And they're noting these dates and changes, right? So, regardless of whether you tell them what the date is, they know the content has been changed by whatever date they crawl it on, right? And so that's taken into account in the form of, okay, content updated, the site's being worked on. So, is updating content good? Absolutely, yes. Actually, I've got one that recently, some of the heavy content changes I've been working on over the last 2 to 3 months have began to resonate. And yeah, I mean, with backlink campaigns and stuff going on, but it's definitely being favored, right? Now, on a personal note, I never have dates on any of my posts.
Yep, same. I like to take them off.
Yeah, it's just it's not my preference because I don't want anybody to ever land on it and have them think it's an old piece of information that's not relevant.
Yep,
And so
exactly.
if you are keeping the dates on, it's probably best practice to do what you're doing, or at least have a updated on snippet somewhere. And so yeah, what you're doing is fine. It's not to say that you can't have dates on your posts or that it's going to hurt you either. But my personal preference is no
Yeah, I wouldn't
dates.
say that changing the date would help you with Google, but what it would help you with is the users who are reading your article, right? So, if you're going to keep the dates on your articles, I would update them pretty regularly. I would say at least once a year, just because people don't want to read old information, right? They don't want to read outdated stuff because things are always changing, and so people and it's something they generally see right at the beginning of the article too. It's like they pull up an article and it's like, it's dated like 2017. That's like 4 years ago on an industry that's moving quickly, or,
Yeah.
no one wants to read that. So like, for example, on our SEO blog, it's, we say we write an article a few years ago on, the best types of backlinks for ranking, or I don't know, something like that. No one's going to want to read the 4-year-old article with how fast SEO is changing. Like,
Yeah.
the market's moving fast, or the landscape's moving fast. So yeah, if you're going to leave dates, definitely I would update your articles all the time so that they're always being seen as new information. But
Yeah.
like Nick said, I also prefer not to have dates on at all, just to avoid that situation. And also, like Nick said, it's a good point that Google doesn't need to see the written on date. Like Google knows, Google's crawling your site and they see the date when they know the date when they had to basically update their index to account for new information that you've added to an article. They don't have to say, well, oh, okay, when was this added? Like, they
Yeah.
just have their own note of when it was changed, or when it was added in their index. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.